Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the table. This is Pastor Vincent Campbell, and
You're Felicia Campbell. How's everybody?
you're Felicia Campbell. You normally say Lady C.
I know.
You Felicia Campbell
I'm
tonight?
Felicia Campbell tonight.
This is Vincent Earl Campbell, and you are
Felicia Campbell.
Felicia Campbell. We're here tonight at the table. Let's give it up for the people that are here tonight.
Woo! Welcome, welcome.
And let's give it up for the people that are online, a part of Faith Nation. What's happening? So, what is the table? The table is once a month we come together and we strengthen relationships. I believe it is so vital, it is so important within the church setting to be able to have intentional time to talk about relationships.
Yes.
Now, when we say relationships, it does not mean husband, wife, 2 kids, and a dog. It includes that. But it is also the dating relationship, the engaged relationship, and the relationship, most importantly, that you have with yourself. If you are single, you are in a relationship.
Yes.
And you need to know how to maximize that. And God cares about your single life. God cares about your dating life. God cares about your engaged life. But God covenants with your married life. And so what we do is take time to tee up topics around relationships. So those of you that are online, if you want to go to heaven, you need to share it. You need to tag at least 10 people, if you really want to respond when the trumpet sounds when Jesus comes back.
Really? That far, huh?
I mean, that's in the Bible. He's coming back.
Where exactly?
That Jesus is coming back?
No.
You don't know where Jesus is coming back?
No. Where is it in the
You
Bible
don't believe that Jesus is coming back for a church that's ready?
That's not what you said.
What's happening? What's going on?
That they must share it if they want to go to heaven. That's in the Bible. Where is that?
That red lipstick got you acting up. Her lips don't normally be that red, but it's in the Bible. It's in the back by the maps. It's not an electronic Bible. You got to have a paper Bible. If you read in the back by the maps, it's in there.
So you must have a paper Bible at home where you went in there and wrote that in there or something.
Absolutely not. It's in the Bible. Are you John the
Good
Baptist?
evening tonight, y'all. So glad to have you
Y'all
here
see
with
what
us.
I deal with when she was Lady C?
Do
I don't have to deal
y'all
with this. When
see
she,
what
Felicia
I
Campbell.
deal with?
Next month, 21 years. Come on, up top.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Yep. Everybody want to know, how do you get there? Week to week contracts. Week to week. You get 7 days. That's it. And you messing up your 7 days.
I see what I did with.
So, Lady C, you're going to
Yes.
drive the car tonight. I'm a passenger along on your ride. I think what we have tonight is very, very provocative. I think it's going to be soul stirring. I think it's going to be uncomfortable. I think it's also going to be very, very beneficial. So, Facebook family, let's get it on. YouTube family, let's get it on. App people, let's get it on. In-person family, let's get it on. What we got tonight, Lady C?
So tonight I want to talk about, I'm going to call it what people normally call it, but we're going to call it what we now call it. Okay?
Right.
Tonight I want to talk about boundaries, but Pastor and I want to call them safeguards, okay? We want to talk about safeguards in a very unique way, and then we're going to roll ourselves into a lab where you all will work either individually or with your boyfriend, girlfriend, or with your husband or wife, okay?
Yeah. The reason we don't want to call them boundaries because boundary has a dual connotation where it could be something that you're trying to keep in or something that you're trying to keep out. And as we had an intense dialogue about this today, we didn't want to use the word boundary because some people have boundaries that are not healthy. Meaning you have a barrier that's up from a negative past experience, and the person that you're in a relationship with now and or yourself or who you will be in a relationship with is always trying to scale this wall, right? So we just wanted to call them relationship safeguards because no matter if you're single, if you're dating and or married, every relationship needs safeguards. Say safeguards. So, Lady C, what's got?
Yeah, so we all want to see our relationships thrive. Whether we are dating, whether we are engaged, whether we're married.
That should be your focus. I think some people don't want their relationships to thrive because they're not thinking about it. They're just in one.
So maybe they get in it with nobody gets in it with the intention of it not thriving. I think without proper maintenance, you get to where it's no longer thriving but surviving. But I don't think anyone gets in it to be like, I want this to be humdrum. I don't think no one gets into it that way.
I don't think they get in it to be humdrum, but I don't think they get in it with the mindset of success. I think they get into it because they're tired of going to the movies by themselves.
Okay.
And they want to have sex with God on their side. No, what I'm saying, babe, we have a unique mindset.
We do.
And I think you just can't blanket that, you know, success and relationship. It's like, no, he cute, I'm cute, so we together. But they don't have a success mentality.
But is that a dude thing? I don't think women just get into something with the mentality of it not doing anything. Like,
well, how do they expect it to do something with a dude that ain't doing nothing?
Well, that's why we got to have this conversation.
I'm with you, but what I'm saying is you can't tell me you have success. Hold on, fellas.
Yeah,
success on your mind with a dude that's 35, living with his mom with no job, no car, no credit, but he fine, and you think that's gonna work?
I think the thought of the potential of what could become, no one gets in it with thinking this isn't going to work. You just don't. That just doesn't.
I'm agreeing. I don't think it's not going to work, but I don't think they think it's going to soar.
I think they do, because who's gonna get into something that you just? I mean, I don't know. I mean, does anybody else feel like people get in it just for it not to do anything? I don't feel like.
Do y'all think that people just get into relationships without a thought process of thriving or success? Yeah. I'm just in it because, I mean, she fine, you fine, I like your...
weird.
Yeah, people weird.
Okay, well, in most cases, people get into relationships with the hopes and desires that it will flourish and that it'll thrive.
Your realistic got you acting
oh my gosh. But sometimes we'll find ourselves bumping into the same frustrations that we've seen over and over and over again. So what a safeguard can be, or a good boundary, because I do believe, I like the word boundaries, but I think there are good boundaries and there's some bad boundaries. So for our good boundaries, we're calling them safeguards. And they focus on what you can do, the things in your life that you can control up front. And safeguards are your clear understanding that I'm powerless to control other people. But what I can do is set up safeguards in my life while I'm dating, while I'm engaged, and even somewhat in marriage. I can set up certain safeguards to ensure that I don't get into a situation that is no longer beneficial for me.
Now, what we're going to do, this is going to be a part 1 and part 2. Say part 1. Part 2. Tonight is part 1. Next month is part 2, because we're going to also give you an understanding of what the safeguards are. Again, safeguards are not to control people.
Correct.
Safeguards are to bring health to your relationship status where you are. But also next month, we'll talk about if there has been a safeguard breach. Yeah. How do you then repair the breach and move forward in success?
And if you repair it.
Hold on, I think we need to bow our heads for a moment.
You think
prayer.
so?
Yeah, because when I said that, they was just like, everybody had that, like they ate too many tacos.
Oh my God. So
how many of y'all don't want this topic at all? How many of y'all think this topic is good? Good. 8 people? Okay, good. We'll keep going.
If you don't use safeguards, you'll end up using your time and with difficult people, and a lot of times you'll end up in destructive or demeaning relationships without them. Okay, so this is how we get into these things. And you want healthy relationships, and you also want to be able to identify unhealthy people. So if you have safeguards and you have someone that will not respect, will not regard or work within your safeguards, then you know they probably and very likely are not healthy people right away before you go ahead and engage with them emotionally. Now, what if the other person doesn't like my safeguards? What if I am, dating someone, or I meet someone and I have made it known these are the areas in which and ways that I am going to safeguard my heart. When people don't work out, they act out. When they're
don't grunt, write it down. Write it down. Some of my fellas just sitting back. Man, get your phone out and take some notes, man. We're trying to help you.
So when someone doesn't work through their issues, they'll make their issues your issues. They will absolutely.
Safeguards challenge your behavior and your character.
Yeah.
Safeguards challenge you to level up or stop it. Because most of the times, depending on how you grew up, what your examples of relationships have been, information that you've received, and also the perception of what you feel is a safeguard will cause you to have a certain behavior that may not be indicative of relational success, but an individual pursuit. Make sense? So let's say if she has a safeguard, I may have my own individual pursuit, but because I don't value her safeguard, then it'll cause me to act out as if she's a problem in the relationship when all that I need to do is just up my game, or it's basically exposing a character flaw that I have.
You better know it.
So a character flaw could be that I don't know how to communicate when I disagree with you, so I get angry and I start cussing at you, but a safeguard to her is, if you can't control your anger over a conversation, wait till we really have a problem. So that safeguard has been breached early on. So for her, she needs to make a decision. This dude a fool. Not, well, see what you made me do. No, I didn't make you do nothing. You don't know how to control yourself.
That part.
I think this is the wrong topic tonight.
When someone has internal chaos from what hasn't been worked out internally, they will often stir up external chaos and point the finger of blame. Blame is an attempt to medicate unhealed pain. So when you try to establish boundaries to protect yourself from the chaos, they see that as you just extremely offensive and try to move and manipulate you into making you feel like that you've done something wrong.
So this is how this plays out. It plays out that I'm insensitive and I say something to her or vice versa, and she tells me that I have now offended her or hurt her feelings, and my reply is, you need to toughen up, you just weak.
Yeah. Yep. Chances are the other person.
Hey, do y'all have any Shirley Caesar back there? Because this music not helping them tonight. We need some church music. I can tell tonight everybody's like, no, because here, say conflict.
Conflict.
Come on, give me some more energy. Conflict. Plus change. Equals growth. We can't just come in here and talk about trust and commitment and waiting on God and Boaz. We really have to help you where you are, because sometimes you've never really had anybody from a biblical, therapeutic, clinical, tactical, relational way to attack a relationship. And many times you're just doing the best that you can or the best that you think, and you listening to popular people without proven results. But when you have real conflict about relationships in your face, you got to address that and understand, I'm not just choosing the same type of guy, because why do I keep attracting this type of guy? You're not honoring safeguards.
Or you don't have any. Yep. All right.
They're realistic, boy. I'm telling you, realistic.
Why don't I enforce boundaries that I set?
Okay, it's just like parenting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to whoop you if you don't get over here in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Did you hear me call you? Why even say it if you're not going to do it? So why say you ain't going to sleep with him on the first date? Can we get something to go? Yeah, because you know, why even say it? And you finna go home.
Oh my God. It's true. Okay. I mean, I ain't been walking with Jesus every day of my life. It is the truth.
I'm not saying
so
that.
I am not even going to sit up here and be like, stop it. No, it's for real. Like, come on now. We set boundaries that we just don't keep. Okay? But why do we do that? Typically, we don't enforce them because of fear of what we might lose.
Write that down.
So I'm thinking about, well, if I don't do it, then they're going to whatever. Or if I don't give it, then they're going to, or if I don't become it, they are going to then, and if I don't, provide it, they are not. Or if I don't pay it, or if I don't do all the things.
Or it's just like in a marriage. If I don't put my foot down, then it's going to be World War III. Well, you might need to have a World War III so you can have some peace for the rest of your life.
Right. Real talk.
I just give in. No, then you start building resentment in a relationship because your safeguard is, I will not be taken advantage of, and this type of approach towards me in our marriage makes me feel like you're backing me in a corner and propositioning me that if I don't, like, you're giving me a silent ultimatum.
So true. And so again, safeguards are not for the other person. They're for you. When we allow someone else to access us emotionally, physically, financially, mentally, etc., we need to require them to be responsible with that access.
Say that again, please.
Okay.
Don't speed past that.
Yeah. When we allow someone else access to us emotionally, physically, financially, mentally, etc., we need to require them.
Give me those four and let me break down something.
Okay, emotionally.
Emotionally, that can happen in the dating process, but it should not happen after you've thought. Next.
Physically.
Should not happen in a dating relationship.
Financially.
Should not happen in a dating relationship.
At all. Mentally.
Can happen in a dating relationship first. I should allow someone access to me mentally before I allow them to access me emotionally.
My God.
And you cannot have my money and you cannot touch me.
Yeah. Has to be a safeguard.
And if you do not have those as safeguards, you're giving up everything that comes with the marital package and you're wondering why you're not getting married.
Too much access. Too much access. Okay? All right, so when we allow them access in those four areas, we need to require them to be responsible with that access. If I give someone level 10 access,
this is good,
but they only have the willingness or capability to demonstrate level 3 responsibility, relational tension is your portion.
You're a gallon hanging out with a pint and wondering why you're always emotionally overdrawn because they can't receive all of you.
They don't even know what to do.
You're always on me. Yeah, because I'm a gallon, you're a pint, and I'm pouring myself into you, and it seems like it's too much. But then when it comes time for you to be reciprocated, the pint is giving you all that they got, and you're saying, that's it?
Oh, that's good.
So because you didn't have a safeguard to even have a label of what's your capacity, right, I'm frustrated because now I'm connected to someone that can't fulfill me.
Because level 10 access requires level 10 responsibility.
So you don't get full access and you don't have full behavior. You don't have full character. You haven't proven yourself worthy. That's why we tell you when you're dating, don't feel, think. It's not time to feel.
Think and listen.
Girl, he just came and stole my heart in 2 months. Like, what's his middle name? I think it's like Jerome. Or I know it started with a J. Like, how does he have your heart? You know why? Because you feel and you're not thinking.
Yeah. Safeguards are your responsibility individually, and they should be used for preventative measures, okay? We'll talk about what happens on the back end, but they should be used for preventative measures. Boundaries, on the other hand, are for the other person. So this is kind of what happens when we discover that they don't have the level of responsibility based on the level of access that I've given. So once I realize that I've given you too much access and you don't know how to handle it, then now it's time for me to establish some boundaries.
So
they're for the other person.
So these are safeguard alarms. Safeguard alarms. So now we'll delineate between level 1, level 2, level 3, whatever access, okay, whatever system that you want to employ. However, once let's say I've taken you out of the friend zone and I've thought and I've listened to you and I've talked to you and I've gained enough information that I feel comfortable moving to a more intimate area of our relationship of talking and intimacy of time, right? And you ain't got no boxes at my house. I ain't got no bras at your house, no toothbrushes. We're not doing that. I'm talking about mental stimulation and access to me where I will tell you, hey, you qualify to know that I'm going on a girls' weekend trip now. You qualify for that, but where you going? It's 4 weeks, bro. I'm going to be where I'm at. That's why I'm going, and if you can't handle, no, you need to know that, because if a guy can't handle no commitment and wanting to control you, that's an alarm.
It is. Huge.
That's an alarm. I mean, even the dealership gets your license and insurance before they let you take the car. Right. So now that I've given you a certain level of access and there's a behavior that's not conducive for this level,
correct.
That's an alarm to let me know I may need to back up because you're not ready or you're not clear on what my safeguards are, because now I got to put up a boundary because you're not respecting my safeguards. Does that make sense? Okay. Good.
Very good. Okay. So boundaries are for the other person. Setting a boundary is being responsible. You are being responsible enough to reduce the access we grant based on their ability to be responsible. Now, boundaries are not designed to change behavior.
No, that's too good for you. Y'all got to get that.
Boundaries, when you create boundaries with people relationally, a boundary is not designed to change their behavior. You can't boundary them into doing what you want them to do. Okay?
Okay,
boundary is to protect you.
How many of y'all grew up in the country? Anybody grew up in the country? Y'all put a dog in the back, that joker jump over the fence, dig under the fence, bite through the fence. That fence doesn't change that dog's nature. It doesn't change his behavior. So you don't put a boundary in place to get somebody to change. You put a boundary in place to protect your safeguard because they're going to breach your security wall.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let's put Bible on it, right? So Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Guarding in this passage is not just about living pure and holy, but the guarding, it's active. It's not passive. It's not just sitting by allowing anything and everything to penetrate your heart. You're actively working. You're not trying to protect yourself from love. You're trying to protect yourself for love. What I mean is you're protecting yourself to make sure that your heart is not so battered and tattered and torn apart because of love. You're trying to make sure that you're able to stay in a position to where you can receive love and identify it when it's there, because you are not completely destroyed.
Here we go. This is everybody, dating, singles, married. Say that line again. You're protecting your heart from love. You're protecting your heart for love.
You're not protecting it from love. You're protecting it for it.
Because here's the thing. Sometimes your feelings can get in the way of love, and you get ahead of schedule only to realize you hate the person that you lusted 3 weeks ago. Married people, you can get in a position of bitterness, resentment, and you'll look at the person that you said I do as a setback, and now love is not an option. You exit in your mind but exist in your person. Where mentally you are not married to someone, that's where your behavior wavers, but physically you're there because it's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah. And it is cheaper to keep her, but anyway, I'm sorry. That was my carnal stuff.
It's cheaper to keep who?
It's cheaper to keep her. That's the statement that you made is cheaper to keep her.
Who does that apply to?
I'm just saying, anybody, it's cheaper.
It don't apply to anybody.
You know, it's cheaper.
That apply to them, it don't apply to me. Where you go, I go. Your people gonna be my people. Where you lodge, I lodge. The day you leave me is the day I leave me. You ain't going nowhere. We going to heaven or to the grave, cuz that don't apply to me. That's them. Shoot, we leaving getting tattoos tonight.
What we gonna get, man?
I don't know. I'm gonna get your name across my eye like Mike Tyson. You gonna get your name across your lip like, I don't know. Somebody like, who that apply? Don't apply to me.
Who passes so crazy? Okay.
That's no, here it is. That's a marriage safeguard.
Yes.
Because there will be a point in time, fellas, because I make all the money. I am the businessman. I am the guy. I took you off your job at 31. I have you a
But
nanny.
I do make money though.
No. Just no, hold on. Let me be quiet, Red. Trying to help my fellas. Because I'm this and I'm that, and I built this house and I built that, and I'm looking at all this I'm. There was a point in time I didn't mind having a conversation with her and tell her we can go on a divorce then. I ain't have no problem telling her you can go and do it. Because in my mind, go ahead, I do all this again. I don't need you. I do all this again. So just, if you want to go, go. If that's what you want to do. But a marriage safeguard is, wait a minute, I can't be so dismissive about something that's so precious off of something that's so fickle.
Absolutely.
Because I need to mature. This is a while back. And then we both just said, you know what? you know, we ain't gonna say that no more. We ain't gonna do that no more. I think I said it one more time.
It's okay. Okay, so having safeguards or creating boundaries is one of the only fighting chances that we have to live in peace relationally, okay? So I want you to take this really seriously. It's not something to just scathe over. If you're not dating, these are good things for you to know and work through now before you begin the process. Love can be unconditional, but relational access never should be. It should not, especially in a dating space, it should just not be unconditional, unrestrained.
Access. And then even after a breach in a marriage, I'm loving you enough to let you stay here and actually close your eyes and not kill you.
I know that's right.
But you're not going to get the same access. That has to be rebuilt with time. Dang, it got quiet. Read something else. Well, I'm going to come in here and just lie to next week. I ain't coming to tell them no truth.
Safeguards.
These folk want you to lie to them and tell them everything's going to be all right.
I don't think so. I think we
and
may
Boaz
have,
coming.
no,
Boaz ain't coming.
I think we may have, they're really thinking. I think we've shocked their systems a little bit.
You think so?
But their brains are churning.
You think that's what it is?
Mm-hmm. I do. I think it's processing. It's working through. It just takes a minute. I mean, it's kind of like castor oil. Like when you first get it, you're like, but it just takes a minute to work through your system.
I don't think that, but go ahead.
Okay. If we will honor these concepts, if you will take the time tonight during the lab, and we're about to get ready to let the online people go, and then in the sanctuary, you all will, depending upon your status, if you are just here as an individual, you're going to be given instructions, and I'll tell you what the instructions are online, but we are going to go. If you are an individual not dating, you are going to work through your safeguards tonight. You are going to identify what are the safeguards for my life. Let me give you an example. A safeguard for you may be, I am not going to allow a man, if you're a woman, into my home before whatever amount of time, or have that level of access to me until we are, in a dating relationship, potentially ran a background check on him. Like I don't, and I'll tell you gently why I'm saying that. We had a partner who, okay, I can't. So, well, you have to be careful.
One of the things is this. Until you get to know a person,
yes,
you don't know a person and the capabilities of what a person will do. And you have to take preventative measures,
please,
to ensure your safety and your sanity at all times. This is for both men and for women. The thing about pastoring, and as our church is growing, it's not the things that are happening, it's the consistency in which they're happening, because there are more people coming.
Yes.
So everybody wants a big church, but they don't understand with big church comes bigger problems.
Jesus.
And so it's just like deaths. The bigger your church is, the more people that die, the more people that have trauma, the more people, the teens do situations and marital issues and dating issues and all this type of thing. So you have to make sure that your sanity and your safety, please hear me, is protected. And just because you get married, that still does not mean your sanity and your safety is protected. Because some people hook you to cook you.
My God.
Y'all, I'm going to tell you like they tell me at the barbershop, say, y'all sleep, you need to get woke out here. No, I'll play the game. I'll say I do and don't mean it just to control you. I'll play the game.
Yeah.
I'll go long term because you're going to take care of me. I ain't finna do what I said I was going to do.
Oh, Lord.
I ain't been doing it. You ain't made me do it, so I'm going to do it now because I said I do. You paid for this wedding anyway. But he loved me.
My God. Okay, so singles, your question number one is going to be, what are the personal safeguards for your single life? List them. Number two, online, hopefully
They got
social
'em right
media
here.
team
They got
can
'em. They
catch
got 'em.
it.
They got 'em. They got 'em.
What boundaries are you willing to set in motion for your dating life if the other person does not respect or regard your safeguards? So what boundaries are you willing to set in motion for your dating life if the person does not respect or regard your safeguards? For married people, what are individual safeguards for your marriage? What are the individual, and Pastor will go a little bit more into that, what are individual safeguards for your marriage? You will list them. And then what are your unified safeguards for marriage? You will list them, discuss them. If you're married with your spouse, you will agree to them. It will be an agreement. These are the things that we're going to do. So Pastor, talk to them about individual safeguards in your marriage.
Okay, so for those of you that are online, because we're going to let you guys go in just a second, we're going to really, really dig in here. Individual safeguards, well, wait a minute. I thought we were supposed to come up with these as a couple. No, because again, a safeguard is something that is for you, that allows you a certain level of comfort, and then a safeguard for your spouse is what they come up with on their own. And then there is a mutual connection, not a blending and a negotiation of what's important to you and what's important to me. There is a mutual protection of our marriage because you're still an individual in a union. And what is a safeguard for her, high priority, may be nothing for me. So I can't minimize and determine what's important to her just because it's not important or high value to me. Her safeguards are to be communicated to me, fellas. My safeguards are to be communicated to her, ladies, not for her to say I need to man up, but for her to receive them and understand that when you do these type things, it puts me at a breached space, which is going to cause potentially my attitude towards you to change.
So for instance, a safeguard for me, I do not play in inboxes. I don't teeter around with inboxes and private conversations with men. That is a safeguard for me. A safeguard for me.
Now watch this. Yes, I benefit from that, but she's not doing that for me.
Correct.
She's doing that for her.
For me.
And watch this, fellas. 21 years, and I don't want to know why. Now, see, some of y'all missed the point. You don't need, what you trying to say? I don't want to know. All I want to know is if you keeping that safe, keep it safe so we can stay safe.
Yes, absolutely.
No, some stuff you don't see.
No, babe, real talk.
We'll talk
because you can't. My
now,
pre-Jesus nature is it can't toy around. See what I'm saying? So
I'm just trying to get them to see that a safeguard for an individual does not have to be accepted by you. As if, what you mean you can't watch that? You get aroused when you watch Boris Kojo's?
Kojo's.
What you mean you can't see him with no shirt off? What you trying to say? That what you prefer? If she don't want it, she doing it so she can stay attracted to you, Humpty Dumpty.
Okay.
Just don't ask no questions because you're going to get your feelings hurt. Just
you
say
really
that's a
could.
safety. Yeah, for real.
Just seriously.
I don't want to know.
Seriously. Okay, and then like another one. Okay, so Pastor knows you can't call me out of my name. You cannot make me feel unsafe physically. There are certain things. Let my mortgage not get paid. We got a whole situation. Once I am, if I ever feel financially insecure. No, it hasn't. But I'm just saying that is for my life.
Pastor, I knew he wasn't taking care of you, ladies. See, I knew that he got too many shoes. He wasn't paying the bills. Now you have to clear that. These church folks still.
No, I don't have that problem, yet it is a safeguard for my life.
No, again, because everything does not have to be about the opposite sex.
Correct.
You could say, look, dude, you can't take care of me.
Right.
One of my whole things about proposing to her father when he kicked her out of the kitchen, proposing to her when he kicked her out of the kitchen, he said, we finna talk, get out of here.
He did.
And I let him know, hey, this is what I'm doing now. These are the contracts that I have. This is what my bills are. These are what my responsibilities are. I basically did a profit and loss statement with him, verbally, just to let him know. No, just to let him know that I'm taking your daughter out of your care, watch this, that's always been provided for. Now, I didn't tell him. She came to me wearing polo shirts. I couldn't buy her no polo. When the company changed the policy that they had to wear jackets, we went to the Goodwill. She had a problem with that because her family didn't shop at the Goodwill. That was a pride point for me. I found a good jacket at the Goodwill, Doc. So it wasn't that I presented to her dad, oh, I got it like this and I got it like that. He just knew my baby gonna eat, my baby gonna be indoors, my baby gonna be taken care of, because for her, that's a big deal, and I needed that big deal to be known to her father, which is a bigger deal. Call him right now. He'll say, one thing I never had to worry about is Vince taking care of my baby.
Right.
Makes sense?
So
It's not all about
safeguard.
sex and stuff. It's what safety to you needs to be communicated to the other person, that this is a breach in security. Man, I come home and stuff cut off.
And then so now if it's cut off, I have to now set boundaries. So what boundaries would I be willing, even in my marriage, to set? Maybe you no longer can manage the finances alone. Now a boundary is everybody money comes in.
You finna help some
and
people.
everybody,
and you finna make some people mad tonight.
we are gonna work through this together, and I have access, and I'm gonna now pay the bills, and I'll give you a report of what's been paid. Like, what are we willing to do? Because literally, a lot of times we are emotionally being just charred because we don't have these things in place. So online, we love you, we appreciate you, but now we need to stop talking. We're gonna turn the lights up and let these couples get to work.
Online, work through those questions. We'll see y'all next week. Can we celebrate them as we let them go? Come on, let's do it a little bit better than that.
Great night.
All right. So here we go. What we're going to do is take some time, walk back through this again, and get you all to leave with a game plan. One of the challenges that happens in church is you receive a lot of information.